All right, another episode of Leaky Funnels. That's my new podcast name, by the way. Because retention.com is what we do. We fill the funnel. With me is Greg LaVecchia, and he is a Forbes 30 under 30, all-around badass, serial entrepreneur, and I'm going to let him tell you why you should listen to this dude because he's absolutely crushing it. That's the short answer. But give me the 30-second background on Bloom, what it is, how hard you guys are crushing it, how it came to be.
All right, I'll start with current time. So current time, last 52 weeks in Target, the L52 in Target IRI data, we have the #1 selling SKU in the entire health and wellness OTC VMS department. And it's this
that is unbelievable.
Green's product right behind me. It's only been there for 6 months, but we're already #1 in the last 52 weeks.
I've never heard of anything like that.
Well, no. So our peak week of sales in February or late February was the highest week of sales for a single SKU in the history of the department. So more vital proteins, more than Quest protein bars, like whatever the product is. We have the record in the entire department.
But like my question still stands: have you ever heard of anything like that?
Well, no, because it's the record of all time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's pretty cool to be in the middle of that, right? Like,
why it's cool is because I'll kind of backtrack a little bit. We were a direct-to-consumer, Shopify spoiled brats. I wish we met you way sooner because then we would have been playing the Shopify game even harder with you. Right. But so we did that for about a year and a half. Then we were just on Shopify and Amazon now it's been 2 years. And Amazon's been great to us. In January, we did like 12 million on just Amazon. Yeah. We're by far the #1 selling greens in the country. And of course, definitely on Amazon. The thing with Amazon is it's great cash. Right. Yeah. And it's great cash flow, and especially when you're on there and you have your supply chain set up and you're growing the category yourself and you're competing with, silly brands that don't really have a brand that they've actually built, just a product.
Right.
Amazon's fantastic. But what happens when you're on Amazon is the loyalty of the customer. I'm finding, and I've spoken a lot to like Unilever about this, the loyalty of the customer on Amazon just isn't there. So in the short term, when I was playing Q1, just trying to hit record top line, Amazon was great.
Right.
A Target customer, or now we're also in Walmart, you're building a moat around your business, right? There's not another like popular brand of greens in Target, and there's definitely not one in Walmart. And if they want to get into that store, it's going to take them over a year to get in there, even if they crush their pitch in Minneapolis, right?
Right.
So we're creating just a moat around our brand that we can't create on Amazon, because someone buys our greens on Amazon, they're getting flooded with other, suggestions of converting to another brand.
Yeah.
Right. And that's not happening in Target. So the Target customer
loyalty. I didn't think about that. That totally sucks. They're going to give you recommended products of someone else's stuff.
You buy an Oral-B toothbrush on Amazon, you're getting targeted with other brands of toothbrush, even if you have all of your PPC through the roof. Right. So, the same thing's going to happen when you're running meta ads. The same thing's going to happen is if someone shows interest in my supplement company, they're going to get targeted with other supplement companies. That's just how it works. Yeah. But, there seems to be just a major safety net that you put around. It comes with its own risks, obviously, but a major safety net that goes around you when you can really gain a presence in Walmart and Target. And with the presence that we've now been able to establish with these numbers that we're setting, they're going to treat us as such, right? Like they're now loyal to us as partners to their brand. But it's funny because, everyone always told us, so the brand launched in 2019. I'll give a little backstory on myself and my wife. My wife and I, Mari, co-founded the company Bloom, and we're bootstrapped to this day. But Mari and I met.
Do you have a revenue level that you say publicly, or is it just like you don't say that?
This year we'll do 9 figures in our 4th year. So
congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, it's going great. We're really excited. But what's most important is just happy customers, happy takers.
Hey, same.
Yeah. I just like seeing people come back. Honestly, that's the stat I look at the most. But what our story is Mari and I met in college. So we're still in the dorm room. Mari goes through a fitness transformation and she posts it on Instagram. And, it got a lot of likes and a lot of comments. By no means did this transformation like organically go that viral. And if it did, it wasn't like she was getting hundreds of thousands of followers from the gate. I was a digital marketer. I said, Mari, let me just put whatever couple bucks we have, probably not even $100, behind some meta ads and have the CTA be follow you. And let's see what type of traction this fitness transformation gets. Starts getting flooded with followers.
Yeah.
Everyone's saying, how can I have a similar transformation? We start selling $5 instant download PDFs. The greatest business ever. Should have never stopped if there was no cog, right? Sell over 1 million of those things. And then, Mari's training all these people, even though they just paid $5. And we're getting this incredible community of women who have these life-changing transformations physically and mentally that we're sharing about the whole journey, whatever. Start selling our first physical product, which was cotton resistance bands that I found an amazing manufacturer in Pakistan. Sell over 1 million of those things. You had to buy the booty band in order to use the instant download PDF workout guides. And then that's going great as a business. Hit the ceiling on that, then total saturated market of instant download PDF workout guides and booty bands. Everyone's like, what supplement should I take with the workout guides? So our first product, so then Bloom was born. And it was pre-workouts, protein powders, recovery powders. We were addressing this market of women who lift weights, which is like the coolest community, but it's a very niche community.
Yes.
And so, we're looking back, it's easier to say this, but we continue to hit this ceiling of how big we can really make that community, especially in a more saturated space as more female supplements are entering the market. And then we released this greens powder. So that's what's on the TV behind me. And our customer. Will
you swivel a little bit so we can see the TV?
I'm gonna grab you some. So what's cool about the greens powder when we launched this is, so this is now 90% of our revenue, this greens powder, almost. So what's cool about this greens powder is our customer went from women who lift weights to any woman in the United States.
Right.
And at this point, we grew Mari's following up to 1.2, 1.3 million on just Instagram. This is pre-TikTok, right? We're talking 2019.
Yeah.
And we understood influencer marketing because she was doing deals herself. And she was, she's just an amazing, she just understands the market very well.
Yeah.
And so what I did is the business was now about a year or two old, and it was basically just Mari and I. We were doing like 20 million a year. And we had a head of customer service, and that's pretty much it. And like some, contractor graphic designers. And I was like, we need a right-hand person to build out just the craziest influencer program. And I need someone that could have access to the bank accounts day one. No one wanted to work for us, right? We were like these random kids in Brooklyn who like had no one even knew what Bloom was. Like it would have been weird to join like this influencer's brand, whatever.
Yeah.
I call my best friend from high school who was crushing it on Wall Street. I'm 28 now.
Was he the other guy? Was he the other guy at the table? When I was
yeah. You met him. That was Leo, who's now our COO.
Yeah.
And I said, I need you to quit what you're doing on Wall Street. He was crushing it in biotech venture capital. Yeah. I need you to click copy and paste in your boiler room, your sales floor, and make that in our company for influencer marketing.
Right.
And he did just that. So now at this point, we have probably what's the largest in-house, if not full agency of TikTok and Instagram influencers, women in the United States with women followers.
So we're talking that just the reason I'm smiling is because I was sitting next to the Tab chocolate guy. It's like a sexual chocolate.
I like them. I never tried it.
He's got 3,000 kids in this Discord, like all posting the same video on TikTok every day because he knows.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's crazy. So can you what is that? But it's not influencers. It's just like kids who want to make money online.
That's like a TikTok arbitrage. I'm talking about
exactly. Yeah. So talk to me about what that sales engine looks like. Like what's the motion? Like who is it that you're going after? How do you get in touch with them? Like what's the deal? Like
I'm not a performance marketer. I'm a brand, awareness top of funnel marketer. That's all I know how to do. So all I've been trying to do is get this word Bloom in front of more people's faces, as many as I can. So this program now on TikTok alone gets over 500 million views a month across our network. So we're talking like 2 or 3 Super Bowl ads every month. Right. And it's comical if I told you how much we spend on it. Right. But what's funny is when the program really started to scale, our logo was this bee.
Right.
Just this bee. Right. And all the Google analytics and all the Amazon analytics were the bee brand, the bee greens. And no one knew our brand's name because all I was asking influencers to do was just show it in a video. There's no fucking sales pitch. Just show it in your video. Right. Yeah. And they all love taking it anyway. So they were just like doing their morning routine, just showing the bottle. They were taking their greens. And so everyone was seeing this bee bottle. And so then we had to very quickly pivot to, our word mark Bloom being on every bottle. So that's when I realized, some of the flaws with very much top of funnel, low informative marketing. Right. But, and so from there, we're just talking about finding female influencers in the United States, because we're only sold in the United States, with women followers in the United States. Right.
And you can see that. I don't know anything about this world. You can tell that, or is it just sort of like looking through their comments and stuff? You can sort of.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty obvious. I wouldn't say that at this point I'm even an expert at. We have like 15 women, all under 25 years old, who just fucking love TikTok and Instagram, and so they're just on there all day. And at this point, our network of influencers, we know their birthday, we know their engagement date. Like we're sending them, we know them. They're coming to the headquarters, they're hanging out with us, so we have great relationships with all of them, which is a big part of that. Big part of the program is the relationship management, and that's pretty much more than half of our entire top of funnel marketing.
Yeah.
And that just has been a complete, gasoline on the fire of a business that was already doubling, tripling every year prior to TikTok even existing. And then the big question was, can we translate this D2C success to retail? Right. And
can I ask you one question before that? So have you thought about buying Bloom.com?
I'm the worst negotiator in the entire world.
So I suck at it too. Yeah.
If I went down that rabbit hole of trying to get them, which I definitely have done a couple times, it would end up being like, by mistake, a 9-figure transaction. Sorry, not 9-figure, 7-figure transaction.
Yeah. I paid $800,000 for retention.com.
Oh, that's awesome.
But like for me, it was totally worth it. Like how much is your website percentage of your revenue?
Now it's 20%.
Yeah. So like, I'm not sure if it were, so like me being retention.com, it's above 100% of my revenue, if that makes sense. Because like,
of course,
anyone who's talking about it in the community hears that name and they're like, I need to know about it.
Of course.
But like, it's not really the same if it's only 20% of people going to that place to buy that. Right.
Yeah.
Like, cause you sort of type it in, you know what I mean? So yeah, I might not, like, you probably would have to pay close to 7 figures, if not 7 figures. And especially how hard you're crushing it. And it's not over 100, it's like the effect of it. I just don't think it's anywhere near the same as me.
And the woman just shout out to her. She has a business that's named Bloom, whoever owns it. And like, she would just did not want to cooperate. Maybe she didn't realize how much I would be willing to pay for it, but she was not willing to cooperate. I've hired negotiators to try to handle it.
Anyway, back to what you're saying. So yeah, I think, getting to this thing of retail and
translating D2C success to retail.
Yeah. So like, my question is like, when is it like, okay, because you said initially, it's like we played the Shopify game, we got to wherever we got to, and then we're like, now it's time to go bigger. Like, when did that happen for you? What should people be looking for in their business to know that it's time to take it to the next level? Is it like a slowdown in D2C, or is it like it's going so fast in D2C that you know what I mean? Like, what is it? What were you feeling?
We got obsessed, not that we even have anyone related to data on the team, but we would just go on Google Trends every week. We would just check the Amazon search trends every week. And we were like, oh, we're growing this category ourselves at this point. Yeah. We're not taking market share from any other greens companies. Most of our customers were the first greens they've ever bought. And a lot of the time we were the first supplement they've ever bought. So it's a very, unique a lot of the customers, Gen Z, and, they're not replacing the greens. So we're building awareness.
Is it just the awareness on TikTok? It was the first, they're on this platform, and the first time they're hearing about this is because you're the first person talking about it on TikTok in an efficient way. Is that kind of
TikTok and Instagram? Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of
all social media. It's still all digital. It's still all social media. I'm not really buying like fuking billboards out here.
Yeah.
And I'm not doing podcasts either.
Right.
Yeah. I buy some sometimes, but they're fucking stupid. And then it's just for my ego. And then, but no podcast marketing, all Instagram, Meta, TikTok, and then, and most of that's through influencers, right?
Yeah.
And so we were lifting the entire category ourselves, and just using Amazon as a barometer of the entire marketplace, which it fucking is, right? Yeah. Like Amazon's is the GOAT. Like they are a barometer of what shopping trends are. I was going to Target every month, and I was saying, you guys need to get us on your shelf. And they said, no, we spent all of 2019 pushing these superfoods and none of them sold. I replaced all those superfoods with collagens, and collagens are selling fantastic. Screw your superfood. It will never sell.
Yeah. So can I ask a technical question? When you say I go to Target and I tell them to buy our product, where are you going? Like, who is there a guy you go through? Like, how does one go to Target when they're in a situation like you, where you're like,
every retailer,
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Every retailer is different. Every retailer is different. Some retailers you have to have a broker. Some retailers you don't need to have a broker. We do choose to use a broker for every retailer we're in, which is just Target and Walmart at this point.
Yeah.
And I don't want any more for a while. But so we do choose to use, essentially a middleman between us and Target and us and Walmart, although we do directly communicate with them at this point. But, it's essentially us and our broker just asking for a 30-minute Zoom call.
Yeah.
Right. And it got to the point where, we even flew into Minneapolis a few times for Target and for meetings, and they still just Zoomed into the call. Like they didn't even show up to it in person. I mean, it got, and my ego took some big hits. Don't get it twisted. Like this, it was hard. Like I was about to give up on it. And I was like, you know what? We'll never be able to compete with these collagens. Right. And superfoods are dead. Like retail doesn't want it. And then finally they gave us, 600 stores. We're on the bottom shelf. We're immediately like top 5 selling supplement in the country, even though we're only in a third of the stores. Then I'm like,
and you attribute that to digital marketing awareness. Yeah. It's like, this is just sell through. It's not people going to a store and being like, what is that down there? Like you're driving people. They're like not expecting to see it and they see it. So they buy it, or is it something else?
Yeah. It's funny. Most D2C brands launch in retail, Target, Walmart, Whole Foods, whatever, and they don't announce it. Right. And they're like, and then it doesn't go well. And that's why there's this big, conspiracy, misconception, whatever, that D2C does not translate to Target and Walmart. Right. And yeah, sure. If you're some random, Chinese owned Amazon company trying to launch in Target because you do well on Amazon, that's not going to work. But we have a brand that we built. We have brand integrity. Like Bloom is a brand. It's not just a product.
Right.
So when we did launch in Target, our community was behind us for that entire process. They followed Mari, our co-founder, my wife, was posting about this entire journey. I mean, they've seen every day.
Yeah, like kind of like work in public-ish thing.
Yeah, we all see like on LinkedIn, like the midday squares or some really cool brands that are like sharing their journey. We shared the whole journey before the company even existed to over 1 million people. Like they're not the first brand to ever do that.
Right.
So finally,
by the way, I'm doing the same thing. I'm making a fucking docuseries. Did I tell you that?
You don't need to tell me. I follow you on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
It's awesome. And you're sharing numbers. I'm too much of a bitch to share numbers. So it's really cool.
Yeah, it could come back to bite me in the ass here. We'll see. We'll know in the next 12 months. I got competitors popping up now for no reason.
Exactly.
Literally no reason other than like I'm sitting there screaming about how hard I'm crushing it. And I thought that it was going to help me hire better people. And now I'm like, well, I don't need to hire anybody else now.
That's hilarious.
So what's it doing?
Yeah. They hear the TAM and they go after you.
Yeah.
So we get like a third of the chain on the bottom shelf with one SKU, like one forward facing product, and it starts to crush it. And this is in November. So I'm like, listen, resolution season 2023 is about to start. Put us in full chain. I'm begging you. Because we're getting comments like, I can't find you in the store, and our customers were pissed. Right. Yeah. So we're only in a third of the stores. And the third of the stores that we weren't on college campuses, weren't in cities where all of our customers live. Yeah. So I was like, listen, I'll give you $1 million of just, marketing expenses, which is just, you pay or stocking fees. I forget what they refer to it as. I'll give you $1 million, put us full chain for 2 months. Right. Yeah. And we were immediately number one by far for the entire resolution season. So, sometimes you just need to put your money. These are businesses. Target is a business. Walmart is a business. If they don't want to take a chance on you, say there's no chance. I'm already giving you $1 million in complete profit. Put us on the shelves, and they'll do it. So put your money where your mouth is, and there's no excuse. We're a bootstrap brand. It's not like I'm just throwing around $1 million around here. I can't just buy retention.com around here, but so it was a big risk that we took, and it very much paid off. So they put us in full chain, and then we just started to now they're rolling out the red carpet for us very much so, and we consider Target to be our main partner in this business.
Yeah, it's like such an this is just the age old story of like you roll the snowball up the hill and it's so fucking hard, and then like it crosses the apex of the hill and like it is rolling down by itself and getting bigger. Right. And like that's just sounds like the journey with those retailers. It's like you're having to do so much, and then if everything works out and you get in there and it fucking lightning in a bottle or whatever, like it's pulling you. Right.
Yeah.
Like,
and don't get me wrong. There's I used to be 100% Shopify business and life was glorious. Right. And then we could control everything. Now we're playing on a retailer's terms. We're getting cannibalization from those retailers on our more profitable channels. So it's very much a step back for 3 forward. which is hard when you're a bootstrap business. And, I try to set a record month every month. So to take a step back is very much out of my comfort zone. But, now I'm starting to recognize the long-term value of being in these retailers. And I know people were looking for us there. Right. So the last thing I want to do is they're going to Target and Walmart and they're buying another greens because we're not there. Right. So, and I think the last thing that I'll say about retail success is you need to send people there. The same way you're spending $1 million a month or whatever it is on Facebook ads trying to send people to your website, we're just running ads saying we're in fucking Target. When you're there on Saturday or Sunday doing your Saturday or Sunday Target trip, stop in our aisle and pick us up. Right. And there's no attribution when you're in retail. So if you're a direct to consumer or even a PPC Amazon junkie, there is no attribution when you're trying to make sales in retail. So throw all that data down the drain and just hope, you're just rolling the dice. But
how do you think about it? Is it just marketing efficiency ratio now? Is that like it's just sort of
just a blended CAC?
Yeah,
a blended CAC.
Yeah.
You pretty much like, what's your CAC? You divide that by the 4 channels, right? Yeah. That's what we try to do. But I'll tell you, our conversion point on meta ads is still a sale on the website, because I was running ads of top of funnel or prospecting ads saying go to Target, and the comments were just like nonsense. Like people who had no idea what our product was. I could tell who they were, that they were not going to end up being a customer. And I was like, if you run a complete top of funnel paid digital ad, they show it to people who click.
Right.
They're not showing it to people who buy. Right. And there's 80% of Facebook that clicks on shit, but they don't buy shit. Right. And if you're running a top of funnel prospecting ad on Meta to tell people to go to retailers, it's going to show it to people who click, because they're not going to waste it on those really valuable 20% of Facebook users. Yeah. Right. And this is kind of my theory. It's kind of also what I've chatted with some people at Meta about. So I still run all digital ads with a conversion point being a purchase on the website, even though I'm saying go to Target. Does that make sense?
So if I'm thinking back on 3 recommendations you have made about this retail thing.
Yeah.
Number 1, use a broker. That's your opinion.
Yeah. Just because, if you're a small lean company, we don't.
Number 2, if you actually feel that the right treatment's going to help, you got to pay to play, and just figure out a way to do it. And then number 3, you got to send people there.
Definitely.
You definitely need to send people there. And then number 4, don't run a prospecting ad to send people there. Still run ads for people to buy on the website, because it's not a matter of it's the type of people they show it to, rather than, it's just prospecting ads are a waste of money effectively, because they're showing it to people who click and don't buy.
Which the greatest quote of all time is 50% of my marketing doesn't work, and I don't know which 50% that is. Right. And I tell our team that, I take a risk. What started at 20,000 every quarter is probably now up to 500,000 or $1 million every quarter, just trying something new. Right. Yeah. So whether that's, a big YouTube commercial, or whether that's streaming, or whether that's podcast ads. And I would say 3 out of the 4 attempts are a complete flop, but 1 out of the 4 every year is a big home run. And so that's kind of how I think about our marketing, and always trying to try new things. But yeah.
Is there any way that you feel like you screwed up in this retail thing? It hasn't been that much time, so it's not like you got set back or whatever, but was there a major mistake that you felt like was just a result of it being the first time around or whatever, now that you would have done it differently or something?
Well, I'll tell you what I'm dealing with right now. What I'm dealing with right now, literally this week, is Target needs to know what we're going to be bringing in to Target for the reset in April 2024. And they're like, what new product?
Mind you, it's June 2023 right now.
Yes. Yeah. And they want to know at the end of the month, what are the 2 new big, Bloom products that we're going to bring in. When I was direct to consumer on Amazon, I'd come up with, I'd finish that product off a month before we launched it. Right. And so I didn't it is slow. Retail is really slow in terms of resetting, in terms of when they need to increase the inventory they're ordering or whatever, especially if they want to get a new product in. So I'm like, wait, what do you mean you need this? I thought you needed this in Q4. Yeah. Right. So now I'm running around to the R&D team, running around to formulators, running around to manufacturers, trying to come up with these new products for 2024 April. and I have 6 weeks to come up with samples to at least show them that I'm going to have something good for them. So and they're going to try it. Like I'm going to go to Minneapolis and put some bars or whatever it is in front of them and say, if this is 90%, to what you like, I'll have a product for you in April.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm hoping for. So that's tough. That's really tough. I'm kind of, it holds you to a higher standard, but like they could just say no. And then I won't have a new product in Target in 2024, which would suck.
Yeah. Would they kick you out, or you just sell what you have?
Greens will still be there, but even if we're number one, they're not going to put us on like end caps and on eye level. They want new products to bring people into the shelf, even if you're crushing it, right? So if you go into Target right now, Vital Proteins, collagen, which is still crushing our department, we're beating them, but they're crushing it. It's like they're not going to be front and center because they're 3, 4, 5 years old.
Yeah.
Right. They want that new product. So I need to come up with that new product, which isn't really my comfort zone also. Like I'm not, Bloom isn't exactly like a product innovator.
Right. But you just are going to have to do it.
We're going to do it. It's not an option. Yeah.
Is that literally you, or is that like you have, sort of a guy who's like, dude, we gotta, give me ideas and like, we'll collaborate or whatever.
Luckily most of my team is like around a 25-year-old female, which is our customer. Yeah. And then, we have a network of people we trust in terms of like trying new things. And we survey the customer a lot on like what they want to see us make, which you need to take with a grain of salt. But, it's pretty much myself, my wife, Mari, and our COO, Leo, who I mentioned, who are just, trying to come up with what that next product's going to be. But no, we don't have like a giant in-house product innovator
like a
by
guy
any
with
means.
A lab coat who's got hair and he's like, here's the 17 options for next.
We work with those people, but they're definitely not in-house.
Right.
And they need direction.
Wild, man. So like, is there like a bigger? So Target and Walmart, those are the big two physical ones in the U.S.
Yeah, I think.
Is there like a next? Is there like a next thing you're trying to?
It's Costco. Costco's a beast.
Yeah.
Costco's a beast. We're going to be going up to Seattle next month to kind of talk with them about what they see for us in 2024. So I think Bloom, as I said, Bloom is a brand. It's not just a greens product. I mean, we have a full product line, but most of the sales are this greens product. And I'm very excited to see what other products we can put this Bloom name on. I see it being, a family brand. And having products across, for the entire family. I'm sure it will organically coincide with Mari and I's personal life. Right. If she has a baby, Bloom Baby's getting started.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
But cool. So, I'm excited to expand the product line while still, being, we're still having this incredible hero SKU. And just continuing to like learn about how to maintain and thrive with these relationships with retailers, because there's 9-figure brands that are just in Target.
Yeah.
So.
Which is wild, right?
Wild. Target's awesome. So, Walmart's awesome too.
Yeah, you're in this incredible position of good fortune to where you're going to show up at Costco and they kind of it's not cold, right? Like they will to some extent know who you are or no, like.
So it's a woman who has been the buyer for the department for like 40 years.
Yeah.
And everyone who works at Costco, there's no turnover. Right. So like Target and Walmart,
incredible. Probably why they crush so hard, right? Like
they don't want to fix what's not broken, but it's very odd, right? Because you would think that they want to bring in like innovation and whatnot. But generally speaking, Costco likes what performs well in Target and Whole Foods. And so just because we're crushing it so much in Target, I think we're going to have a really good shot. But nothing's inked yet.
What about Whole Foods? Is that
So Whole Foods, you need to use a distributor. So distributors are very different than just having a broker. A distributor is, let's say it's Unify is like pretty much the biggest distributor that you would use. They buy your product and then they can kind of do whatever they want with it. AKA like they could also put it on Amazon. AKA like they could they could do whatever they want with it. So I'm trying to not use a distributor as long as possible. Yeah. And just to maintain at least a little bit of control that we can still have of this company. And therefore we can't go into Whole Foods because Whole Foods only uses distributors.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Maybe we'll be able to, skip that once we get big enough, right? But I like the idea of Whole Foods. I don't know how big. I personally like their supplement department, but I don't know how much, velocity they really do out of that department.
Right. Yeah, it's more just selling overpriced the same
produce,
the same version of everything else that.
Yeah.
You know.
I like Whole Foods though. I personally, that's what I shop.
Yeah. So do I. Yeah. We have this chain here called We have this grocery store called HEB in Texas. And they have this Concept Central Market, which is like kind of what Whole Foods was before Amazon bought it. Like it's just, they're such a good company, HEB, and Central Market is like, it is a grocery paradise. It's unbelievable.
I've heard amazing things. Since I was just in Austin with you, everyone was telling me about HEB.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
Dude, this was very insightful. So let me ask you about, like, where do you see Bloom in 5 years? Like, do you have any, I'm out there yelling about it, and it's not even what I care about, but I'm just getting a lot of attention yelling about, like, building a unicorn in 12 months. And, who knows? I'm probably not going to do it. I want to try.
No,
like, what's
happening?
Yeah, what is the, like, you and your life? Like, what do you want to do with this? Is this something that's, like, a lifelong pursuit for you? Is it, like, let's sell it to Nestle and then, do another one? Like, what are you guys doing it for?
We're young. My wife and I are both under 30 years old.
Yeah.
I didn't even know like we could sell this company until very recently. Like I didn't realize that was even a thing. I didn't know what venture capital was. Like I was just out here trying to grow Bloom. There's a lot of options on the table, and we'll see wherever it takes us in the next few years. But I feel like we're just getting started in terms of how big this could get. So I try not to think about it too much. And I found in periods of my life when I do think about it too much, it's very distracting in terms of the creativity you bring to the day-to-day business. And so I'm trying to think about it less and less, and that seems to pay off.
Yeah, I think that's the right way to approach it.
If you're in pitch mode, trying to raise money, you can't be day-to-day CEO and being on the road show trying to pitch. Like it's very tough.
I even worry about talk about the perfect financial partner or whatever. Like maybe you take some dough off, like you don't have to worry about it anymore, and like they're in to with some growth capital, and then dude, it's somebody else at the table. Like
for sure,
they don't know what you do, right?
They're wearing a fucking suit.
They can say they do, but they don't know why this got to be. It's But my friend here, there's this private equity firm in town called Vista Partners. It's they've invested in SaaS, one of the biggest SaaS private equity funds. And he worked there for 11 years. And his boss was the guy who ran the investment side of the business. They do investment and investment banking. But his boss always said, businesses get bought, not sold. You build a great business, it will get bought. Do not build it. Do not build a business to sell it, especially to someone specifically, right? Like
badass.
Businesses get bought. Like someone will come buy your great business if you just keep your head down and do it.
For sure. I mean, I hope that's true. That's the mindset I like to have. I've never sold a business, so I don't know.
Yeah. I've sold one. I worked on selling actually this one for 6 months, and the buyer walked away the day that we were going to sign the APA.
Oh my gosh.
$75 million. It's worth a lot more now. I'm quite happy about that. But it was, it's very distracting. Like I wasn't working on the business for 6 months, and lo and behold, I start working on the business again, and it turns into something way bigger than I ever thought it could be.
That's awesome.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. We've had similar scenarios over here, trying to do a fundraise and it just kind of falls through. And
it's what the fuck was all that wasted time for? Right?
So much
money,
wasted time.
The whole thing.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, dude, Greg, it was great talking to you. What's your timeline on moving to Austin?
We're highly considering it. Well, Mario and I were sending each other some Zillow links this morning. We'll see, right? I mean, it definitely seems to be a thriving place for CPG, let alone startups overall.
Yeah.
And we've really enjoyed it when we visit. It's a great place over there, and LA is a great place for social media and influencers and what we're up to in terms of a brand building moment, but I see no reason why the brand can't have a presence here and in Austin.
Right. Totally.
It's a 2-3 hour flight, right? So
definitely.
We'll see.
Well, dude, thank you very much for gracing us with all that incredible insight. I really enjoyed this conversation.
Hopefully someone can click it down to like a 0.5x and slow me down and try to.
Totally. And I think there's a lot of clip outs we can do in terms of just like 2 minutes of really interesting shit too. But dude, thanks. I'm always here. If you ever have any questions about this retention.com thing, hit me up whenever. If people want to follow you, follow the whole journey, like where do they go?
Just Google Bloom. You'll find us.
Google Bloom.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, thank you very much. Signing off.
Awesome, dude. Bye-bye.